Hey guys, this is Bruce Marshall from Simpler Trading with the nightly market update for Wednesday, April the 6th. So happy Wednesday, happy FOMC day. Today we had the FOMC minutes, and I've got the ES on the screen up here. We'll start there. Always like to start there, and we'll take a look and see, kind of how things played out for today, and then we'll look on longer time frames and see if we can determine maybe which way this thing's going to go. Here's the NASDAQ for the day, and there's the ES, and here are the ticks. But today was a pretty weird day. Fed days and FOMC days are always like that. Last night give me a drawing tool here. Last night we came down about 39 points, so it's pretty decent selling in the overnight session. You see this line here, that is a voodoo skyline. We hit that and bounced, came back down, hit it, bounced, came down. We just took it out right at the open. But then as we came down, you see this level here? We're back and forth between this level and this skyline. We came up and touched it one time there, but really chopping. This is pretty typical on a Fed or FOMC days because nobody knows what's going to happen, and especially on Fed days. We don't know what's going to come out. The outcome will be of that and which way we're going to go. So people tend to not want to get on either side of that, and that's the reason you get that chop typically. And as you can see, we kind of chopped and chopped and chopped, and right there is when the FOMC minutes were released, and we basically already knew kind of what it said and the gist of it anyway. We got an initial pop up here, took out this high on the day. That was, pretty good bullish sign, and it was immediately slammed back down here, and then it immediately ripped higher, took that high out, and went to this voodoo micro line up here, just tagged it and fell back down here. And then we just chopped into the day. So we started the day here and we ended the day, right there. So basically all of this, and we didn't really go anywhere overall, from the open to the close. And it's always funny because if you look, if you just look at the quote on the S&P, it sometimes doesn't give you the whole story, and that's kind of what happened today. But anyway, that's kind of typical, but the reason it is typical to get these big swings after FOMC or after Fed, but and in both directions too. This is algorithms taking out stops on the upside, taking out stops on the downside, and just keep flushing this thing and ripping it back and forth, and they take it up to take it down and that kind of thing. So again, very frustrating to try to trade that kind of market. It's just always hard to tell, which way we're going to go. But we've been doing very well actually this first quarter. We just in the first quarter, of course, and for my service, the bias service, we had a really good first quarter actually. Kind of changing up what we're doing and trading smaller size, less risk, and much shorter time frames than we typically trade. And if you've listened to the videos I've done over the last quarter, several weeks or several months, that's the gist. That's what I've been saying is that instead of doing a $10,000 trade, I'll do 5, or instead of 5, I'll do 2,500, or kind of cut my size down about half. And it's working, and we're still making actually kind of ironically about the same kind of money on less dollars, but our trade time frames have shortened. We're trading options, of course, and instead of trading something that's 30 days out, 45 days out, we're trading something that's either the same day or 2-3 days out, or maybe 5 days out, maybe 7 days out. Very, very much shorter time frames, and it's working really well. And I would advise to kind of do the same thing because we just have no idea even if we're going to go higher or lower 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks out from now. And let me show you how this looks on the ES here on a longer time frame. So if we go out 20 days, here's where it gets really interesting. You see this big red line? That's a voodoo fire line. That's a very strong line, and we got a big head fake here because we got really close to it, but we didn't get all the way down to it. Very not very normal. We would normally come down and hit this thing a couple of times, But we came down here 41.29, and then we ripped straight up. This is one of the sharpest bounces I've seen in quite a long time. This was 500 points, actually 502 points from bottom to the top here in the ES. And then, we just kind of are starting to give it back. Now from here, big question mark, are we going to keep coming down here, maybe to the snow line? I kind of think that's probably where we'll end up being. And then bounce, or are we going to bounce from here and then just keep working our way back down? And that is the $1 million question. I really don't have even a good feel for it. And again, it doesn't really matter. My type trading, I'm trading both sides. I'm trading range bound type moves and wide range, like 200 points on either side. And I'm primarily trading the S&P. I'm not really trying to pick stocks in this market. It's just too crazy. But let's go out here again. Just look at the ES, and what you will see. Matter of fact, let me switch this to the SPX. And as you can see, we were in this pretty sharp downtrend, and off this low again, we double tap this, kind of triple tap that. You see that prior low, and we just ripped straight through it, and we just kept going. There's not even, this is the first pullback that we've had basically off of this low down here. I mean, we had this slight little pullback here, but then nothing, straight up. And that's for almost a month. And then we came back down here. This snow line did not hold. Makes me think we probably end up down here, but again, I don't know if we hit this skyline here and bounce higher, or what. The math says that that we go to about 43.80 on a retracement, which put us about right there. There's 4,400. That's what the math says, but the charts say if we get that close, we probably come down here, and that's also a good ways down from here. So maybe we don't get there. Maybe we bounce. I don't know. Again, it's impossible to tell. We've got so many balls up in the air now. The Fed is now saying they're even more hawkish. They're expecting a 50 basis point rate hike in May. That's not good, of course, for the market. So, but at the same time, we got earnings season coming up. We're likely to bounce into earnings season potentially. So I really don't have any bias either way, up or down. And again, that's the way to trade that is to be very nimble, be very quick in and out of your trades, and be try to trade range bound moves. And I'm trading the volatility, and we've got a lot of elevated volatility with this. So that's what's been making the difference. So if you're trading this, as you already know all this, and you've got to be really careful and be on your toes and manage your risk in this kind of market. And I don't think this is going to change anytime soon, unfortunately. And I don't mind that. It's been like I said, it's been working well. It's been working well for the last couple of years, ever since COVID. We've been doing really well trading in this market, and kind of the same strategies. But I don't think this is going to change anytime soon. So you have to kind of change the way you think about trading this market. And this is not a buy and hold market. This is not buy the dip every time market, because that surely is not working. So with that, let me wind it up. If you're having trouble trading or just want to learn more, obviously come join us in the main room, the gold room, or come join me in my personal trading room called Bias here at Simpler. And I'll be glad to help you, show you exactly what we're doing. We trade in real time with real money, and you can come along for the ride and get some trades. So with that, let me wind it up. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Hope this helps, and I will talk to you soon. Take care.
Without Simpler Trading, I could not have financial independence.
This is one of the best investments I ever made in my life.
It's helping me find consistency.
It's one of the things that won me